What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list going into this upcoming week. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with stock number 5, ticker is JBDI, sitting at $1.32, has been trading for less than a year, but year to date, it is up 103.08%, and over the last 5 days, up 58.94%. This is what they do, so feel free to pause it and go through it, but definitely the stock does have a lot of good momentum that is building. Even aside from that though, on a larger standpoint, it looks as though that there's a lot of good progress occurring for the negotiations between the States and China. So that's going to be a huge driving factor for the market this upcoming week. So things seems to be fairly good, and a lot of the stocks I'm going to be talking on, shorts are rather overextended. So potentially with a lot of good pre-existing momentum for their own individual stocks and the market really hyping up, this is where it could be a little bit of a recipe for disaster for shorts. But getting right to it, 8.97% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 360,000 shares overall are being shorted. So this meets the criteria of what the market loves to squeeze. Somewhat heavily shorted, low float as well. Cost to borrow average is 240.43%. That is a annual rate, not a daily rate. And then short score is 81.17. The higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze occurring. Through IBKR, you can kind of see that there is roughly around 55,000 shares available to be shorted. If obviously a lot of stocks do get limited supply, you most of the time at least see a lot of big institutions buying that stock, adding buying pressure just for the purposes of lending out that stock. But nonetheless, you could have a lot of good continued buying pressure because of that occurring macro standpoint and the momentum associated to that, adding even more buying pressure and then just really pinching shorts. So definitely this is one to add to your watch list. So stock number 5. Moving on to stock number 4, you have SEZL, ticker is SEZL, sitting at $87.10 on Friday alone, going up 16%, and that's because of their recent earnings. Over the last 1 year though, up 564%, and then over the last 5 days, up 60.82. This is what they do, so feel free to pause it and read through it. So good old Minnesota in the States, but 20.59% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 3.47 million shares. So that's why I like my list as well. I don't just choose the most heavily shorted stocks that are like 60+%. It's a good combination of pre-existing momentum and just a large presence of shorts. DTC, a lot of this other information up here that I don't really bring up, but feel free to pause it and go through it. But DTC is also another hot one to really watch for. Higher the number, higher essentially would be the squeeze, and so that is relevant to the overall volume. So 3.32 days. Short score, again, higher the number, higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is 69.72, and then through IBKR does indicate 35,000 shares is available to be shorted. So this is stock number 4. Moving on to the next one, you have ticker is SEDG, so SolarEdge, sitting at 1984. Over the last 1 year, down 62.33%, but over the last 5 days, it is up 50.02%. So definitely gaining a lot of good traction, and plus based on the volume, it looks like it's getting a lot of institutional attention as well. So that never hurts whatsoever. But aside from that though, looking here, this is the company profile, so semiconductor material and equipment, and going forward, I might be adding a little bit extra context to a lot of these. So I'll go over the seasonality. So for instance, in May, historically it does go up 4.6% over the last 9 years on average. So I'll start adding more kind of additional context on future videos of this sort. So just kind of stay tuned for that. But 32.46% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 18.92 million shares. Cost to borrow average is fairly low. Utilization 64.8, and then short score is 73.66. In this stock's case, shorts have started to mitigate and kind of cut some of their losses. It looks like it peaked at roughly 40%, and with the good momentum that is occurring with this stock, Shorts rightfully have been returning, but still 32.46% is a fairly high presence of that. Through IBKR does indicate 800,000 shares is available to be shorted. So most likely you might not see some buying potentially, but anything is possible, and buying again just for the purposes of lending out stock. Moving on to stock number 2, ticker is RGC, sitting at $366 on Friday alone. It went up 72.65 over the last 1 year, up 6,482%. Massive stock to definitely pay attention to. Over the last 5 days, up 365%. This is what they do. So based out of Hong Kong, pharmaceuticals and so forth, but 9.42% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 74,000 shares overall are being shorted. So again, meets that criteria of what the market likes to squeeze. Cost to borrow average is 859%. Again, an annual rate, not a daily rate, but even for on the daily standpoint, that's kind of significant. So something again to keep in mind. Shorts have really been active in the past with this stock. And basically went from roughly about 2.4% short interest to where it is now. So shorts have been really doubling down. Through IBKR, it does indicate a lonely 600 shares is available. So this one, you definitely will be seeing some buying, as institutions will love to take advantage of this juicy cost to borrow. And so through IBKR, it's 636. So definitely, this is another one to add to your watch list. And then last but not least, moving on to stock number 1, ticker is ASST. So this one's another popular one over the last 1 year. It is up 327% over the last 5 days, up a measly 1,199%. So this stock is a absolute beast. This one I have brought up quite frequently in my pre-market videos because it's getting a lot of institutional attention, but this is advertising as the industry based out of good old Dallas, but 24.69% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 3.1 million shares. Cost to borrow average 263.44%. Short score 81.29. And then through IBKR does indicate a measly 60 shares is available. So definitely you could see some buying when it comes down to this. So as I mentioned, a lot of these stocks, their shorts are rather overextended. So potentially you could see a nice pinch coming this week. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other squeeze plays that you feel could go up? If so, drop some tickers in the description below. I was thinking about adding another channel. I know I already have a good, 6 YouTube channels already. I was thinking about adding another one just solely talking about squeeze plays. So if you are interested in that, let me know. I can definitely set that up and start doing some videos. We'll obviously start from scratch again, so 0 subscribers and all that. So if you're interested, let me know. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.